There we go. Hello. Once again, Chris has prioritized school over the welfare of Rokugan.
Clearly less important.
So we are taking another one-on-one session with that one guy's favorite player in this game, Kin.
Was that sarcasm or no?
Oh no, as far as your mic's concerned, definitely not. But who knows? We're trying something new today, so maybe we'll earn that viewer back.
Yeah, maybe. Well, it might be too late. I mean, how long ago was that comment
It was
came?
like 4 months ago.
Exactly. They're probably long gone by now.
Oh my god, it was way more than 4 months ago. Holy cow. How long have we been playing this game?
A long time.
Too long. It should have been put down months ago. Today, we are seeking to enjoy an adventure in the excellent alternate reality of Togashi's Empire. Let me see if I can find who it was written by. They should have it right up there at the front. Anyway, this is a alternate setting that I've wanted to play in for a few months, so we've taken the opportunity today to jump in on that. Togashi's Empire is a setting where instead of Hantai winning the tournament of the Kami, it was Togashi that proved that he had the wisdom to rule the empire, so everybody followed him, and with that freaky dragon man and reign of the empire, everything became a lot more spiritual and magical, so we'll see how that goes. Ken, do you have any strong opinions on this particular alternate setting before we go forth?
Not particularly. It's certainly different. There's some things I really like. There are other things that are like, yeah.
What don't you like about it?
Probably mainly the way that the whole unicorn stuff came back and the whole veil. The veil's kind of weird.
Oh, you don't like that? I like the dragon's veil. What do you mean by the unicorn thing that, like, war with the genies?
They all came in through the Shadowlands.
Oh, yeah. That is, like, even in the canon, that's just something I can't stand, is that in Great Clans it said they spent like 30 years in the Shadowlands in order to get into Rokugan. And I just have a hard time believing
that. Well, I mean, crowd don't even last that long out there.
Seriously, what's going on? Like, I guess it's because they have a lot of crystal, because the Kolot doesn't like the Lying Darkness, and that's like the only reason I could think why they'd survive. Oh, this is completely off topic, but in the Imperial Archives it talks about the Yobanjin and how the crab, like, every once in a while will hire the Yobanjin to, like, fight on the wall, and it's talking about how they're not really freaked out by Shadowlands creatures because they've got, like, the worms and the wyverns that live up in the steeps, and they're like, oh, these are just weird animals.
Yeah.
Alright, so
I've heard what they did with the scorpion in this setting.
They're just like, alright, we did it.
Yep. It was totally that, and the whole fact that they constantly are playing the mantis and the Haruma off of each other.
I usually don't like the Mantis clan at all, but I kind of like what they did with them. They're
They're
just
a little bit better.
like deep sea archaeologists. Cracks me up. Alright, why don't you tell us about the character you'll be playing today, but make no mention of his tattoo, because you'll be getting that at the start of the session.
So, Hoshi Chikashi, he's a member of the imperial families. Dropped off as an orphan. He doesn't know who his parents are, because, that's a common thing among the dragon. All of a sudden there's a baby on the steps. He's not well liked by Daikoku, because he is very much a strict ascetic, and Daikoku chose to bless him in his very own temple. And of course, he, being the holy man he was like, no, I absolutely refuse. Which insulted Daikoku, so he's been cast out from the temple of Daikoku and is cursed by Daikoku, and Daikoku is really not fond of him. He's a very odd man when it comes to fire. Absolutely obsessed with it. Can't help but touch it.
Luckily, he's well versed in the touching of fire.
Yes.
Alright, and before we go any further, let's just kick this off right. Dr. Pepper, if you ever want to sponsor me.
I was about to ask, you just opened a Dr. Pepper, didn't you?
I don't know why you'd sponsor a video that gets like 3 views a week, but if you ever want to, I'll do anything. So, Kenneth.
Clearly sponsored with a lifetime supply of Dr. Pepper.
That's all I need, man. Dr. Pepper, I plan to die when I'm 30, so that's like not even that much Dr. Pepper. That's just 9 years that you have to supply me.
That really depends on precisely how much of it you drink. Like, there was a period, for instance, when I was drinking between 2 and 6 liters of Coke every day. Like a healthy person.
Oh, I'm not that bad. I have been pretty bad lately, though. I need to ship up. But it's final. It's like Hell Week, so I have an excuse to eat fast food and Dr. Pepper.
Oh, I mean, what's wrong with it? I mean, you're an American. Is that not what your people do?
The only comebacks I have are, probably not, won't garner friendship with other nations, so I'll just accept it. So Ken, this is let's make some strong decisions today. You're a member of the royal family, What's expected of a member of the Togashi monastic order?
They mostly just wander in and do mysterious things and then disappear again.
I don't think the book does a very good job at explaining it. However, I found the blog of the guy who wrote the Togashi's Empire section.
Ooh.
And it had his whole thought process for it and stuff, and he said his concept for the tattooed men was they were basically CIA agents, and they just like come in and like take care of all like the espionage and stuff for the emperor. And I thought that was very interesting. I'll see you. Once we're done with this, I'll send you a link.
I definitely would appreciate that.
So today's session, today's episode is The Quest for the Fire Rat.
Is that ever convenient?
It's almost like I planned out the session with this character in mind.
Oh, okay. That explains a lot.
It's not a repeat of the Phoenix Files where I'm like, alright, I'm gonna throw some Gaki at them and some other spirit monsters, and Ken's like, I'm gonna go with a Void. A Void Tensei.
And just, nope, you're gone.
It's alright. I still managed to kill Chris,
right.
and that's all that matters.
It's alright, he's dead now.
Yep. After like 6 months, I got my revenge. The session starts out, and we are high in the Imperial Mountains. Let's say it's springtime, so these mountains are beautiful. Snow still caps the top, but in the best way possible. And like the crow flies, we go soaring through the mountains until we see one of the famous imperial monasteries up high in the mountains. And this particular one is quite small, considering some of the larger ones are in this area. This one's tiny, but its architecture is white and red, much like you'd find in the Phoenix Lands, and people will notice it has a heavy fire motif. The statues have carvings of flames in them, and there's certainly a few actual like Phoenix sculptures hanging around the place. They've of course got those prayer wheels up on the walls, and we see a few pretty scarred up monks wandering about the courtyard, and many of them are around the center where our hero for today's session, Hoshi Chikashi,
Correct.
is getting ready to undergo his great trial. So give us a physical description of Hoshi.
Very lanky looking fellow, not particularly buff. Kind of that sort of body plan where there is muscle, but it's very dense and you can't really tell precisely how strong they are. He's kind of average in height for Rokugan. Bald, obviously.
But of course. And he doesn't look like he could F somebody up. But as we'll see in an hour or so, I have faith in his abilities.
It'll be interesting to see what he can pull off, because I've never played a monk at all, let alone a tattooed monk.
And of course, he is currently in the lotus position. And of course, it's over a small pile of coals, which have been burning for the last few hours. And you've, been sitting up there, waiting to, meditating, mentally prepping yourself for the trial that you're about to face. And this is like your how old is he? How old is Mr. Hoshi?
23.
23. Very nice. You've been very dedicated to the order and everything, but this is the trial to see if you're worthy of getting a tattoo from them. And so this is a big moment. This is metaphorically your rebirth. So one of those phoenix statues is definitely in prominent display right now. And
It's almost like they're going some sort of apotheosis of fire.
almost. It's quiet because, of course, these are monks and they're very quiet people, introspective. As we look around the room, they all have various scarring over them, although not as much as you would think, especially after what we're about to see. They're all very quiet, but suddenly any noise that is happening in the courtyard suddenly stops as the head abbot comes out with two of his attendants. He's dressed in simple red robes, and he has those big prayer beads necklace that have intricate engravings on them. And he's carrying a big sanctified like pot with him. As he approaches the meditating monk that we are getting to know as our hero, and behind him, one attendant is fanning incense behind him, and the other one has kind of a bell that he's ringing every few steps as they approach you. Let's find a name for this guy. Arata. That's a dumb name. Isobe. That's a great name.
That's an interesting one.
This is the head monk Isobe, who is, let's say he's the least guard of all the monks. Clearly the most spiritual, fortified, if that's the case. And he approaches you and he gives you a stern nod. I have no doubt that he has no eyebrows, considering his field of work. And he asks you, Hoshi Chikashi, how goes your meditation?
Bane is the true path to enlightenment.
Indeed, and has your body been purified of all sicklinesses of poison?
I am prepared for the task at hand.
And then he gives a nod. He says, all right, prepare yourself for a moment of true transcendence. Bask in the pain which we are about to bestow upon you, and may it bring you closer to enlightenment. And with that, he rattles off a chant in a language that I do not speak. Then raises the pot above his head, and then dumps it on you like we're on Slime Time Live. And a thick but clear oil cascades over this scrawny man. And as it flows down your body, everybody in the temple holds their breaths as they see the rivets of the thick liquid slowly making its way down to the cinders below you. And after a short amount of time, the fastest rivulet hits it, and the fire just runs up and covers your entire body. So, covering you in fire. So let us see that meditation roll, Ken. Let this be the apotheosis of fire.
Thankfully, I have the same void and fire, so I don't need to make this complicated.
Nice. But it's even better than that, right? You get a free raise to it.
I don't know. 1 second.
I think the Oracle one should give you a free. If it's a fire roll, it should give you a free.
No, the chosen by the oracles is anytime I make a straight fire ring roll, it's +1, keep 1.
Oh, it's just for... Okay. Okay. What am I thinking of then? Oh well, doesn't matter. You still passed, and though, much like a notable civil rights activist, you are covered in fire. The flames do not consume you, as you use the temple's 100-year-old technique to steel your body against it. And though the pain is quite excruciating, I think we can all agree, once the oil has burnt out.
What on earth was that?
That's a paper shredder.
Oh.
That's what enlightenment sounds like, Ken. That's why it and madness are so closely linked.
Clearly. That is clearly the sound of enlightened madness.
Which, might I just say, what a great disadvantage.
I know. I totally need to take that one at some point. I debated taking it on this one because it almost fits.
Once you told me about that bog hag chef, I was like, oh my gosh, that's the greatest character ever.
I know, right?
After the fire has consumed all the oil, of course it eats up your pants and everything. Then it tries to eat up you, but it's just not finding any purchase to make. And eventually it dies out. And how you feeling, Ken?
I feel like I can perceive the world much more clearly than I otherwise would.
Mm-hmm. That was a pretty dope performance, and I should stop saying as a verbal pause, because that is a sign of a bad public speaker. All the monks around the temple, though they are a stoic lot, are very pleased with you and have small, samurai-like smiles upon their faces, as they just saw one of their own pass a great trial indeed. A trial that many of them have not been able to accomplish, or have not yet undertaken themselves. But you have.
One could say it is literally a trial by fire.
One could say that. And obviously, because you came out unharmed, that is a great testament to that you are well on the path to enlightenment. And so the head abbot, Isobe, bids you that you stand and step out of the fire. And I assume you do so. And
yep.
All the monks, not that they care about such things, but they gain honor from ignoring how naked you are. And the monk says, excellent, now meditate, or make yourself presentable as nightfall. We will commence your tattooing.
Yes, Atlas.
And with that, the courtroom slowly begins to clear out as the monks head to their various duties. And you head back to your small little room with a blanket covered hay to put on some new robes and prepare yourself for what might be the greatest honor a person in Rokugan can have bestowed upon them. So while we're here, describe to us what his robes look like. This is describe what the robes of the entire Transcendent Order are.
I can't help but think that they look much like other Togashi, where it's mostly just pants and that's it.
They're so consistent.
That is basically the only image that is in my head regarding any of the tattoo orders. Because any picture I've seen of any of them, that's what it looks like.
I'm glad we're on the same page. Because I was just gonna say you put on pants, but I was like, I guess you could wear a shirt or something, but it's because they're solar powered, right? That's the lore reason.
Well, there is the fact that tattoos can't be covered when they're activated.
Right.
That's probably the main impetus. Is they don't want to make it so that they have to take off their shirt or something, or a piece of clothing in order to actually use their tattoos.
I don't know. I have a hard time believing that these monks aren't completely into ripping off their shirts before jumping into combat. Can you imagine Doji like trying to talk Togashi into like formal ceremonial robes?
I don't think that would work very well.
I don't think so. She's like, come on, you gotta like, this is your, symbol of your status. He's like, no, I'm a dragon man. I see the future.
I literally turned into a dragon.
Your focus on the material shows unenlightenment. Good day. I'm sure he's not that big of a jackass, but I'm pretty sure he is.
I suddenly wonder something with the setting, because it's clearly established that the Kakita are still a thing. Thus likely that Kakita and Doji did the thing that they normally did, but Yasuki doesn't exist. So how did that happen?
That's true, giving Yasuki the shaft. I remember the day I figured out that Yasuki was the old lady. I was like, wait, what? That makes so much sense.
And then look what her family became. a probably very tainted, horribly burned man. Nicola.
Yeah, I know you and I are like, we enjoy L5R and that's like all we have in common, but I'll ask you this question anyway. Have you ever listened to the Book of Mormon?
No.
Okay. Well, there's a scene where he's talking about the prophet Joseph Smith and how like the whole trials that the Mormons have been through until eventually they found Salt Lake City, and the character's like completely self-obsessed, and he's like, and then they had generations of babies and they kept on trying until eventually they had me. And I just feel like that's Yasuki's like mindset as well.
Pretty much. He does think he's pretty amazing, though. He doesn't think he's as amazing as he used to be when he had full use of his arms.
And I'll say I rag on Yasuki a lot, but he is like very loyal to his lord and everything. Oh my gosh.
Fault.
Not to fillet you too much, but after all that happened, and I don't know, Yasuki's big thing where he's like, "You've robbed me of my ability to serve my lord." I was like, damn, that's some real character depth for that guy, which I really appreciated.
And I didn't even need to think about it because I have a pretty good sense of how he thinks.
That's the good thing about playing a character for 12 years.
Well, I mean, it's only been a year and a half in Rokugan.
That's true. Lots happened.
He's pretty mangled for a 17-year-old. He's been through a lot of shit.
Can you can you imagine going through all he has and just being like, well, time to go on with my life? Now this plot's out of the way, I can finally get back to finding mineral deposits for the Crab Clan. Anyway. You are dressed, ready to go. You've meditated a little bit more. You're trying not to be too proud of how awesome you were just a few minutes ago. There's a big pile of bodies outside the temple of people who'd also gone through that trial and not done so well. So it's very impressive. And somehow, inexplicably, you have your rank 2 technique before your rank 1 technique, but let's just overlook that. It's for, just story purposes.
If it's a story, it's worth it.
Yeah. And so you are once again brought out to the courtyard, which you've been away for an hour and it's already become, it's been decorated in a manner suitable of the occasion that's about to happen. So Ken, when a monk of the order is about to get tattooed, how do you think these guys decorate their main courtyard?
I'm not gonna lie, I am not all that familiar with the tattooed orders. They are not the part of the dragon that I find interesting.
Well, I get you, man, but this is like whole new universe. Doesn't matter to our game at all. So you can just like spout out anything you like, and that shall be so.
The thing that makes it even more confusing is the fact that I'm a combination of the very reserved type of tattooed monk with the
psycho tattoo.
It's kind of hilarious. I basically this guy's basically a walking paradox, which makes it all the more appropriate that the kanji for his name is basically how or what or question mark.
Oh my gosh.
It's glorious. Well, I imagine there'd be a lot of fire everywhere.
Yeah. Candles, braziers, the whole works. It's all set
And
up.
probably not a lot of fabric because those two things together are kind of a bad idea.
I hear that. Alrighty, good enough as the the notches on all the braziers have been all opened up a little bit more, so their gas is really burning now. Very sophisticated lighting system for ancient Japan. Ancient Rokugan. Unlike last time, there is no big crowd around for this because those guys simply aren't worthy for what's about to go down. And so you sit yourself down. There's a pillow this time and not a bed of coals. This is probably like the one pillow in the entire monastery. I mean, like, especially considering what this monastery is all about. If they're, very, very interested in pain and what that can do for your enlightenment, I'm sure they're not awfully concerned about comfort as well.
Likely not.
And the front doors open up, and you hear the sound of a bell chiming, and the smell of perfume and incense fill the room as the head monk enters with his 2 attendants, and then there is 4 more individuals, we'll say. Yeah, we'll say 3 more, just for the fun of it. 3 more individuals who enter, and they are carrying a palanquin. One very similar to the one a Canadian showed me yesterday. Yeah, black and gold deal. And they come in carrying that, only instead of there's like additional like incense holders on it, shaped like dragons, naturally.
What else would they be showing?
All architecture is dragon based, even that goddamn like 4-year-old drawing of a bridge for the High House of Light. And I'm not talking 4-year-old as in like it's 4 years old. I'm talking like
I know what you meant.
Someone born in 2013 drew that bridge. The palanquin comes in, and then a tattooed man with extremely bushy and white eyebrows and a long white Fu Manchu comes walking in. He's got a vest on, so he's being formal, but he's still showing off his tattoos. There we go. And he has a small kit with him that you recognize as a tattooing kit. And this is one of several monks who makes his rounds to the local monasteries. Nah, scratch that. That's dumb. I don't like that. Moving on. I'm a fickle person. And he comes in, and the monks that are carrying the palanquin give a small prayer before they slide open the door on the palanquin, and there is about a teapot sized jar that is china. They have a very brittle and expensive material, and fabulously decorated. It's covered in prayer strips. And they bring that up, and they set up a table for the tattooer, who sits down on his knees and tells you to get comfortable. And where's your volcano tattoo going to go?
Let me think about this a second, because there's a couple of places that might make, like, he will only ever get 2 tattoos. How about it's kind of mostly on his chest, with the cone going up onto his chin, with sort of the magma cone pouring out from his lips.
Oh my god, that is so trashy.
I know, right?
You're the villain in like a Yakuza movie. At the very least, a henchman. Perfect.
I'm not very good with these things. I mean, I don't understand that entire culture. It does not make sense to me. I don't disrespect it, but I don't understand it.
I get you. And so the prayers are had, and the container is placed down on his table, and he gets his tools ready. your body, the two attendants that were carrying the palanquin, then come over towards you, and they get various oils and stuff, and rub your chest down, then dry it off. It sparkles and sheens in the torchlight of the night. And then this guy opens up the container, which holds the blood of the Dragon Emperor himself, Togashi the Immortal, and he starts to dip his pins and such in it, and then Chris will move over the tattooing part, because despite my research, I don't know how Japanese people used to tattoo.
As a side, going through various articles under the category articles with pictures on the wiki, and it seems like 99% of Togashi just wear pants. And the other 10% wear basically just a hoppy coat with it.
I wanted you to be like 99% wear pants, and the other percent wear sports bras because they're women.
Actually, I have yet to find a single female Togashi on here.
I found a really cool picture the other day, but I have lost it. But they don't wear bras, but they just bind their breasts and call it a day.
Yeah.
Anyway, I found on Wiki saying that they do wood block tattooing, printers. So.
Oh.
What do they do, Kenneth?
I'm not finding anything. Okay, that's definitely the oldest picture of a Togashi I've ever seen. That is one wizened old man.
Oh, I know exactly the one you're talking about too.
Togashi Kasuver.
There's a crane in the back, right?
Yeah, fighting. It looks like a Miyamoto, but they only got one sword out, so I don't know if it's a Miyamoto.
Miyamoto Tao is swordsman.
The room's on fire.
Yeah. On a forum RP I'm doing an old man character, and I saw that and I was like, oh, I should use that for my picture. Just have to get all that card nonsense out of the way. Anyway. Tangents. Speaking of tangents, that guy's pretty old. And they go about the tattooing process, him using, of course, the blood of the Emperor as the ink. It takes several hours as he is meticulously doing work, and even though several hours seems like a long time, that's not that long for a tattoo. An ancient ass tattoo, nonetheless. And eventually he goes, "It is done." And he packs up his things, and everybody does the reverse version of the ceremony that they just did to break out this most holy of objects, and then they head out the room. And that's when your character goes, time to look at my fine tattoo. And when he goes to check himself out in a nonsensical mirror.
What makes it nonsensical?
The fact that there's a mirror in a temple. There's probably a reflecting pool that you look at.
Yes, that can work.
That's less nonsensical. He sees that there's no tattoo on his body. Other than a series of irritated-looking skin, nothing's appeared. And you think, what the what? I must meditate on this meaning. And then the whole procession, we're gonna fast forward a few weeks, as Hoshi has been diligently meditating, contemplating the reason why the tattoo that he was emblazoned with has not popped up yet. Could it be spiritual impurity? What's going on? Damn it. There's a room full of fire and I didn't make you roll for willpower. Oh well. I'll get you next time.
Oh well.
So we see the sight of him meditating. Why don't you make a meditation roll for me?
Alrighty. I guess it doesn't matter which element it is. Either or is the same.
I like using fire for meditation. Very nice. We'll get to that in a second after I ask you a question.
Okay.
So all your I like the meditating going off of fire. So how do you meditate in a way that reflects the element of fire? I assume it's just like inflicting pain on yourself. But what do you think?
Balancing a burning hot coal on the top of his head.
Very good. And as you're concentrating on that pain and concentrating on, how you might have failed to, be spiritually pure enough or enlightened enough to receive the tattoo, then it happens. Okay.
As a completely unrelated aside, every picture of a Togashi using the dragon tattoo is utterly horrifying looking.
Oh, their mouths turn into yes.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. They almost unhinge like the snake.
Yeah. Oh, it's like the one monster from that one thing. I was not prepared to to make that analogy, but I did anyway. Bubbling up from your torso, much like the magma of a volcano, we see wisps of green spiritual energy start to kind of carve themselves into your skin, but you don't feel it because your eyes are closed and your spirit is somewhere else. But this is for the physical world and our viewers. We see the base of the volcano and the rivets of lava that are falling down, and as gradually the tattoo crawls up your chest and seems to be tattooing itself on your body. And though you and I, as players and GM, knew the whole time it would be a volcano, you yourself did not, because it's my understanding that the tattoo chooses you. Much like a lightsaber or something, a kyber crystal. So the form of a volcano rises up your body, and the few monks that are currently in the courtyard with you doing their own meditation, this one guy is, sticking his hands in pots of boiling water, punching it, no doubt. Everybody stops as they see this kind of spiritual and holy tattooing that's going on right now. And they're all, very impressed. As eventually it gets to the your lips, the mouth of the volcano, the magma spurt flies over your lips and finishes tattooing. And as soon as it's done, We see Hoshi's eyes fly open, and they are pure white, as he is having a vision. You see off in the distance in what you recognize somehow as the Lion Lands. You see a volcano bursting and a single, like a meteorite type thing, but not all a meteorite, but a rock from a volcano flying into the sky and coming down to the earth, and it impacts in a nearby farm, and then this rock seems to come alive and run through the field of rice, catching everything on fire as it goes, boiling the water and burning people alive. And then the camera shifts to the right towards the horizon, off to Otosan Uchi, which is not the capital, but still a very important city in this timeline. And you see this living rock making a beeline for that major population center, which is directly on the horizon, and it streaks towards the horizon, and once it reaches there, the crest of the Ningendo becomes all fire. And then your eyes unroll from the back of your head as you return from this vision, and you realize that you have been called upon by your emperor to fulfill a mission most dire. How's that sound?
That sounds very important. I should probably get to that.
Your monk says in that voice. So, Kenneth, what did you personally get out of that vision? And then I'll just give you the details of the mission.
I'll do that. I should probably go to Sanuchi, and that something bad is going to happen there.
I hear you. All right, so I don't want to lead you on, so I'll just ask you. How's your dude exit the temple? What's the procedure for him?
Probably pretty much just leaving.
Oh, I knew it. Oh my gosh, Ken.
He's not really much of a. He doesn't really carry anything with him. He is an ascetic. He has no traveling pack. He has no money.
I love you. I was like, obviously, when a monk gets a mission like this, they're just like, well, time to leave, and they just walk out. We have no time to waste. And now I have to look at a map of Rokugan. Yes, perfect. So this is where we're going to pick up several days later as Mr. Hoshi has made his way out of the Imperial lands. Okay, another interesting question I have. The Dragonfly clan has to be like 2,000% more important now, right?
If they even exist,
Yeah,
said that.
no, it's impossible that they exist, right? Because the lion wouldn't do what they done.
If I remember right, on top of that, it's not so much what people do as it pretty much requires the founder to be turned into a fortune in order to actually form a minor clan.
Yeah, you're right.
So unless Tonbo or whatever the hell the name of the guy founded it.
Miyamoto, whatever. Yeah, you're right. I was
Unless he
like,
was up to a fortune.
I don't remember reading about the Tombow. How did they not mention the Tombow? They're exceedingly important, but they did come from the imperial family, so it'd be weird if there's a minor clan for them. Oh god, I can't remember what source book it was, but it was something to do with Winter Court, and it was talking about how like the hosting rules for different level of people, like clan champions and stuff like that. And it was talking about how the Otomo daimyos are like, oh, we're not really sure we want to be in the palace of a mere family daimyo. That's a little low rent for us. I'm like, oh, I love the Otomo.
They're wonderful, terrible people. I still need to play one, and I cannot decide what kind. As far as whether to just take the straight Otomo, or take either the party Otomo or the bureaucrat Otomo.
I really liked the party. Like, I always liked the bureaucrat one, but when you showed me the party one, I was like, that's hilarious.
It's absolutely wonderful. I just want to set a party's tone to hostile and watch the fun.
Speaking of fun, let's get back to this campaign, this one shot.
We're really bad about getting distracted.
That's fine. It's a one shot. It's one person. I think we can handle some digression.
True.
Been several days. You have hiked out from the Imperial lands and are currently in the Lion homelands. And for those viewers out there, nope, never mind, no viewers. For Christopher in the future.
Or Christopher in the very near future. Depends on which Christopher we're talking about.
Oh, this is true. In this setting, the Lion are the defenders of humanity is what they call themselves. And so while a few of the other clans, such as the Owl or the Crab, have associations with supernatural non-human races like the Nezumi and Naga, the Lion said, we are not having any of that. And they dedicate themselves purely to the human form, and they don't even have Shugenja. I'm assuming that's because when the Kitsune were begging for peace, they said, no, let's just kill these people.
Not Kitsune.
The what?
The straight Kitsu, not Kitsune.
Damn it, every time.
Well, I mean, there's Kitsu, Kitsune, Kitsuki.
When the Kitsuki were being eradicated by the Lion, they didn't get any Shugenja out of the deal.
You know, the funny thing is, as much as you mentioned that fact, the Crab actually really don't get along with the Owl.
That is completely true. I can't remember why, but why, Ken?
If I remember right, it's because of the fact that the
Naga, that's right. Go.
They don't really like the Naga or any of the other things that aren't the Nezumi. And the Nezumi, it was more that it's like, I guess we can get along with them since they can't be tainted.
I think it's because the Crab are unbearable and the Owls are their neighbors, and the Crabs can't play nice with any of their neighbors. I guarantee if the Unicorn were They're neighbors. They wouldn't be allies. I guess technically they are neighbors. If the Shinigami Mori wasn't in the way.
I wonder if they still raid the hell out of the crane every time they are done with the war with the Shadowlands.
It's hilarious. It's like very consistent. I know it's in at least 2 of the like timelines for this book. During the Great Famine, I think the Sapphire Empire one as well. It talks about it.
Which one's the Sapphire one again?
It's the one that's set like 200 years in the future, but it's still Rokugan.
Oh, the one that's with the guns and the tiger are actually a minor clan?
No, it's like... It's the campaign setting that there's like 50 pre-made adventures for. Heroes of Rokugan, that's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
It was like a big organization thing that made things for like cons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I tried looking through this one time, but I got bored and stopped. And that's not me raising a beef with whatever they're doing. I just got bored at the time. Moving on. Once again, let's try this one more time. Entering the Lion Lands, who are, if possible, even more martial than they are in Hantai's empire. Their monastic order is the Temple of Heroes, the Order of Heroes, which is a school of monk that I really like and would like to play one day.
They're the ones that make people OP on their rolls instead of their own, right?
Yeah, they can spend void points for other people.
Right, yeah.
Which I love. That's a cool thing. That Togashi Empire one-shot I did with my friends. One of them was one of them monks. Order of the Heroes. And currently you are heading towards Otosan Uchi with the swiftness of a man on foot.
Who doesn't have a certain tattoo?
This is true. And as you are going along the well-maintained and official roads of the Lion, which are second only to the Crane Clan's roads, I assume. I can't imagine the Imperial roads are all that nice. You've got to really work if you want to see the Emperor.
I think, if I remember, they're probably a lot worse than even in the standard campaign. Because if I remember right, the person who really, really made the roads, or the important ones, for great in the standard setting,
doesn't exist.
And there is no steel chrysanthemum. I think the Gozoku also did some of that. They're not really so much a thing either.
I actually really like the oh my gosh, you know what? I'm not talking about this. we are pushing through. God damn it.
Yes.
Nice try though. You're heading through these roads, which I assume the Lions are very well maintained because they have to march their armies to attack minor clans. So can't have dirty roads. March an army across it.
The funny thing is, when you said attack minor clans, it specifically mentions that they might not have actually attacked the box.
Or I hate the Fox. Anyway. They abandoned their kami. They're no true
unicorn.
No true unicorns, that's right. These roads, and off to the side of the roads, out across this expansive field, you see a large a swath of burnt farmland stretching out towards the horizon, much like in your vision. And as you've been traveling, this is the first time you've seen signs of your visions, and along this scorched earth that cuts diagonally through several rice paddies, you see many workers solemnly ripping out the destroyed crop and going back to work. And you can see that not too far down the way there is a village that is not completely burned down, which may be a good place to gather clues about what's happening to prepare yourself for the coming trial.
Obviously, well, she would head into the village.
As you
And patiently sit down near the shrine and wait to be greeted by the headman while meditating.
Of course. And as with every mention of a monk ever, especially a tattooed monk, as far as the villagers are concerned, you literally just appeared in the shrine. And everybody goes about their business for a few minutes, and then some schlep notices that there is an agent of the emperor meditating at their shrine, and then they let out a small whoop and immediately run towards the headman's building and a monk. He's like, whoa! And he gets himself presentable, throws everything on, and runs with all the officials the village can muster to greet you at the shrine of Ibisu, let's say.
Sure, why not?
Why did you be like, that is unacceptable, Chris?
Clearly.
Yeah, honest work. Perfect.
That seems like a very village type shrine.
Yeah, certainly. And they all, approach you and throw themselves on their knees and press their heads to the ground. And they're like, "Oh, honorable Monk-sama, what do we owe this great honor? Why are you visiting our humble town? Is there anything we can do for you? How may we help a scion of the emperor, the holy emperor?"
I note your village has difficulties. What can you tell me about what happened?
And the headman puts his head on his head and goes, late last night there was a great, a noise from outside the village. And from what we could tell, we looked towards the horizon from that direction. He points to the direction that you came from. And there's a big wall of steam that was rising out from the fields, and we sent men to go see what was happening. But before we knew it, the steam was coming straight at the village. And next thing we knew, houses were catching on fire, and all our candles were melting, and people were getting burns, and everything caught on fire. And then, just as quickly as it happened, everything stopped. The fires were still there, but whatever was causing it had moved past our village, and then the very same thing started happening on the horizon. He points off towards the other side of the village. And you will notice that there is a pretty even kind of scorch mark going through the village, and then there's of course charred houses and stuff further back, but it looks like a straight line was kind of passed through this.
So you're saying that this is moving towards Otosanuchi?
That seems to be the case, yes sir. We think it's an angry fire spirit or something.
It is as I have foreseen.
He goes, "Oh, you've foreseen this great tragedy, and you know exactly how to deal with it. Oh, thank you, great monk, great Imperial Scion. Thank you so much for attending to the matters. Is there anything that we lowly peasants can do to make your journey easier?"
A small bowl of rice before I leave is all I require of you.
Oh, love it. Yes, sir. We'll happily acquiesce to your requests. Someone get him a damn bowl of rice. And that man jumps up from his kneeling position and runs towards the nearest inn. And that's when you hear the sound of a sword clinking in its sheath. And approaching you, there is a man in a worn out and tired looking blue and white kimono. This man right here. Right on this picture. Boop. His kimono carries the worn out mon of the Kakita family. And he approaches to put himself between you and the villagers, but then he gets on his knees and gives you a great and perfectly crane-styled bow of deference. And he says, "Arigato, monk-sama. I am Kakita Fumimaru, a wandering swordsman on a quest for self-discovery, and it is my desire to accompany you on the mission which you are currently on."
I know not precisely what we are facing, but your company is not unwelcome. I have heard much and many good things of the skills of the Kakita.
Oh, you flatter me, great monk. I am, my skills are not worthy of your notice, but I promise you I will do everything that is within my ability to assist you in your quest.
I fear this may not be a situation that can be solved with a sword, but who knows what we may face along the way.
Then you shall be in charge of the mind and spiritual matters, and when it comes to the sword, I shall protect you. "I've got the rice! I've got the rice!" says the peasant as he comes careering around a corner with a bowl just packed deep with rice.
You are far more generous than was needed. A bow befitting the difference in status, but a bow nonetheless. Kind of the sort of head noddy bow.
Do you require any seasoning?
No, I need not such frivolities.
He nods his head and goes back to the other villagers who are still bowed. How many days have you been fasting up until this point?
How many days have I been traveling?
4 days.
I will have fasted every day, unless I came across a village that seemed like it could do away with a bowl of rice.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You're like, until I receive some acknowledgement of my vision, I shall not eat to maintain my purity. Yes, you enjoy some delicious Hawaiian clan grains, starches, whatever the hell rice is. Rice is weird. Rice freaks me out. Technically both, huh? Interesting.
Well, rice is a grass, and therefore it is a grain.
Whoa. There we go. Sorry, I get too interested in stuff. I was like, oh, a grain, you say? Grass. I should know that because my house has winter rye for grass. Which is the worst grass ever. Never do it. As soon as you mow it, it all dies.
Well, considering I'm allergic to every species of grass on the face of this earth, I probably will try and kill any lawn in any house I ever purchase.
Even before I became a total like L5R weeboo, I was like, when I own a house, I'm gonna have a rock garden. I'm not gonna have like grass.
I'd probably say escape.
And it's not because I'm lazy, or it's not because I'm, I like rock gardens or anything like that. It's because I'm lazy. And
so yeah, and things that you want me to make for my fasting?
No, you're fine. We'll start doing that in the future, though. Yeah, they wait for you to finish your bowl, and your Kakita companion. Let me write down his name so I don't forget, because I will forget, because I'm me. Matsuhide. When he sees that you are finished, he stands to his feet and asks you if you are ready to proceed.
I am indeed.
Then I shall follow in your wake. And the two of you, I assume you like start following this this trail that's being left in the fiery area.
That does seem like a sensible course of action, considering it's quite visible.
The quickest way between any two places is a straight line. So
especially one and scorched clear of any obstructions.
Especially that. So the two of you march through there, just following in the wake of this thing for 2 days, let's say. So I believe that would be one fasting roll. So I don't think you have to do it on the first night. Is that it?
Let me quickly check. I'm not in the right chapter. Yeah, first 24 hours.
Fumimura, of course, at all possible points, offers you any of his supplies.
And he declines.
Naturally. So just all right. I think
I think I'm fine.
think you're fine. No, thank you. I am assuredly not hungry. He goes, oh, of course, of course. I just want to point out how crazy that is that you eat like I don't know. That's impossible. But that's really cool. Just story wise, that you eat nothing for 4 days, have one bowl of rice, and then you're good for like 2 more days at least.
Yep.
Surely it shows the spiritual purity of the imperial families.
Clearly.
So, at length, eventually, you are out of the rice paddies that stretch on for a long time between these two points, and you enter into out of Crabland or Lionland. You suddenly find yourself in Crabland, which is very shocking.
Clearly, I took a wrong turn somewhere.
I believe we are lost.
The direction.
You crossed the boat between Toshi Rambo on this map, which is totally not the place where Toshi Rambo should be. And, sorry, I'm just figuring out the map right now. There is an unnamed forest just south of Toshi Rambo that you are currently cutting through. And there are... Back to this page. Back to this page. You're following this scorch mark through the earth, keeping a quick pace. Especially quick because, as you said, all obstructions have been cleared, so it's like a primitive highway that you are just cutting through. Eventually, you cross the river, and up ahead of you is a mighty forest that is just south of a prominent lion forest. And this forest still has some cinders burning on it from whatever this fire spirit that came through here has been dealing with, and it's still yet burned. So let's see that willpower roll, bro.
Okay. I'm touching the fire.
Holy crap. Oh, what is it, Hoshi-sama? Do you see something in those bushes? Oh. Alrighty, so let's get that meditation roll now.
Okay.
Yeah, you fine.
Just gonna hold my hand over the fire for a moment. Let it lick the palm.
And as you are looking down at this fire, you see a small shape coming out from the burning fire as well. Out of this like bush branch that the fire's currently slowly eating away at, and you see a tiny Kodama come out and like walk out on the branch, and it's totally the Kodama from Princess Mononoke, because those are the cutest possible representations of them. And he comes out and he has both his fists on his hips. He's giving you a sassy look, saying, "What are you doing?" He doesn't say that because Kodama doesn't speak, but he gives you a inquisitive look, like he's asking you, "Why are you literally playing with fire?"
palms together, sort of bow towards the thing. Only the palms are together in the fire.
And he goes, "Oh, that's a he being your crane companion for the moment." He goes, "Oh, a forest spirit. This is good luck. You are good luck, Monk Sama." And he gives a deep bow to the forest spirit. He says, "In your travels, do you know a way to communicate with the spirits of the forest? Is there a secret monk technique that you can use to talk to them?"
Not amongst my school.
"Oh, I see. I'm sorry to insult you, Monk Sama. I meant nothing by it."
No insult was taken.
And he nods and whoo looks relieved as you see the Kodama throw its hands up into the air in a scared manner and then run back into the underbrush of the forest.
Hoshi would turn around and look in the exact direction that whatever panicked look came from the Kodama was directed towards.
Sweet. Why don't you make a investigation roll for me? Emphasis: ambush.
Oh knows. Yeah, that was pretty much bound to fail.
All right, let's get an attack roll off for these guys. See where we go from there. Oh my god, I think, as pathetic as that is,
That is a hit.
I was like, oh, I guess they missed. And I was like, wait a second. This dude's a monk with 2 air. Alrighty.
I'm not even going to bother soaking that. Wait, you just rolled 3. You literally just rolled 3.
3d10, K3. Oh. My finger slipped on the shift.
I will actually soak that. No, I'm healthy. So, no, I won't soak that.
Um, it's that scene from Home Alone when you turn around to see what's up and a large heavy rock is thrown through the air and smacks you smack dab in the middle of the face before you're quite aware of what's going on. And the second the rock flies, your companion has his sword out, scanning the horizon, and you see 3 thuggish blokes coming out from the forest. Bandits, it looks like. And one of them punches the other in the arm and says, "You idiot, you hit the monk!" And initiative's gonna start.
Boy, that's impressive.
You know, if you ever have initiative that low, you know, you've got an alternate plan, I think. You're not really bound to the flow of time as people usually perceive it. Something like that. Oops. Let's try that again. These are some pretty fast bandits, it looks like.
Attack stance, by the way.
Ah, excellent. Do 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 do. Okay, now to look up the Kikita school. Do they get initiative? No. Okay, great. So the order of this shall be a thug, Kikita, a thug, you. So what that looks like in letters is T, K, T, T, M. T, K, T, T, M. Let's go. They are all in attack stance. Kikita is in center stance.
Of course he is.
As Kikita are wont to do. And the first fellow is going to... None of them have swords. They all have bow staffs. And they're going to take a swing at Kikita and totally hit him. Which leads me to the question. 1K2. And the answer for it in the same sentence. Ooh, not too good. He's going to spend a void point to absorb that.
Yeah, that's a bit of a solid strike.
He looks visibly shaken and thrown off balance. And he spends his turn focusing. And the second thug is going to go after you.
Hit. Boop. That's a hit. Boop. That's damage, and I'm going to void point the soap.
Okie doke.
That makes it only 7 damage, which brings me into Nick.
The last thug's going after him again. Oh, wait a second. Sorry, I'm suddenly self-conscious about if staffs do half damage or not.
Armor from staves is double.
That's it. That's it.
Unless they have at least 3 ranks.
And they do. Okie doke. One more attack at Kikita. Hey, see, I should call resist. Alright, let's see if he's dead or not. He only has 2 earth. Don't worry, he's just hurt. Okay, it's your turn. Time to murder them all.
Are they? How close are they?
Um, just
Oh, one of them just hit me, so he's pretty close, I imagine.
yeah, for sure.
Okay. Okay, so tattoo activation is a free action. So let's make that volcano happen. As basically the entirety of Chikashi's skin turns black and glowing, as if he
Very
has
nice.
been coated in magma.
Very nice.
I'm also going to spend a. Oh, can I spend a void point? That's the question.
For Kiho?
Yeah,
Yes, you can.
so I will spend a void point to activate the Dance of Flames. Kyo.
You'll have to tell me what that one does.
Let's see if there's any sort of shiny description of it. I don't know what it physically looks like. That's in the core book, I think. I thought it was in the core book. Maybe it's just the search function's not working properly. See here. Dance of Flames. Oh, that's Shadowland stuff. That's too far. Apparently, I'm just focusing my key into attacking. So
Okay.
nothing physically showing, but now I can make unarmed attacks as a simple action. But I have to do it every turn, at least one attack. Don't have to hit, but I have to manage an attack every turn,
What a
or else the
drawback.
key. I know.
Kin,
So,
this is a very cool thematic character you've created. All right, and I believe all those were free actions. So
yeah. So let's oh, do I have an emphasis? I should check that because I don't remember. No, the only emphasis I have is void recovery. What the hell just happened? Okay. Roll20 decided to just stop working for a moment, so I'll be right back in.
good day, sir.
Gotta love it when you hit the button and nothing happens. Okay, time to get punchy. I guess I don't know what I roll anymore, so I'm just gonna do an ordinary attack, no raises.
That's a shame. You 100% hit. Oh, man. Let's see, I have to check the sheet. I'm not sure if I made them airy or if I made them earthy. I made them airy. All right,
Ooh, that's
so
not good.
he's 1 point away from being crippled. Very good. Now it's on the same guy?
Yep.
Alright. Yeah, you take him out for sure. What's the transcendent path? What's their kung fu look like?
Probably more Tai Chi. Well, actually, it's hard to say because here's the thing: it's any of the tattooed orders that can join it, but the Hoshi are the more meditative of the tattooed orders. So I imagine his Hoshi training makes it more like Tai Chi, but the Transcendent Brotherhood is probably closer to ordinary Togashi since it's probably bulk of that. So it probably looks like very aggressive Tai Chi.
Mm-hmm. It looks like a living oxymoron. Deafening silence. It's my favorite one. So you just take this guy out very quickly, right after you become a magma monster for a moment. And these other two guys obviously see this horrifying transformation. You take their friend out very quickly, and the leader, the guy who's been kind of calling the shots from it, you can tell, he stumbles back and he heads back into the forest, and he tells the persons who's left to grab the cage. And the guy nods with a deer-eyed look on his face, and he goes for Kikita once more. Skills. Sleight of hand. And Kikita, being a swift, airy type guy, manages to roll out of this guy's grabby hands before he was going for Kikita's traveling bag, but he managed to jump out of the way, and the thug's proximity to you became such that he didn't want to go any further, and so it's your turn. Oh, I guess it's actually Kikita's turn in that case. Hey, let's see if this schmuck can silence this bandit with a 10-point penalty. But hey, 2 extra kept dice. Hey, he totally does. Not enough damage though. Alrighty, your turn.
How close is the guy that's still alive and around?
Oh, he's like right next to you. It's the type of thing where he was running for Kikita's bag, but he kind of spun out of the way at the last second, and so much like Charlie Brown trying to kick the football, he like ran right past it and got unfortunately close to you. And Kikita took a swipe at his back.
Well, he's gonna enjoy some of the same treatment.
Yeah. Have you got an explosion every time?
Pretty much. But when you're rolling that many dice, it's fairly statistically likely.
This poor man.
Oh. Apparently he's going easy on this one.
Let's see, 3, 2, 1. That's a probably less than a 1 in a 1 in a 1,000 chance that you get dice rolled in that order. But yeah, you the two of you kind of double team this guy real quick, and he gets brutalized, and he drops under the blows of your fists. And with that combat coming to an end, I'm going to stop streaming for a moment so I may use the restroom.
Alrighty.
Let's reconvene in 5.